further than that, as it aids in the fight against genital warts, I'm told, and other things that affect men. So here to tell us why you should get an early start on your HPV vaccine, Acting Director of the Family Health Unit at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, and consultant in the obstetrics and gynecology department at the University Hospital, Dr. Charmaine Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, closer to us.
Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ennis, morning.
Morning.
I just never mentioned something about men. This affects men too?
It does.
Well, and men are, boys and men are encouraged to take the vaccine as well?
Definitely.
All right.
What
what is
the vaccine?
The human papilloma virus. What is that? Before the vaccine, what is the human papilloma
virus? So
virus?
the human papilloma virus is a virus that it's HPV, short for HPV, has nothing to do with HSV or HIV. So it's a virus that is associated or causes cervical cancer. In men,
where does this virus come from, though?
Right, so it's sexually transmitted. It doesn't have to be penetrative sex, it could be just contact. So oral sexual activity, just touching genitalia, it can be transmitted. And it does affect men more than just warts, because in men it can cause oropharyngeal cancer, so cancer of the throat, penile cancer, which is less common than cervical, but definitely anal cancer. And this is especially so in men who practice anal sexual intercourse, and anal cancer in women, but primarily cervical cancer. That's where the burden of disease is, where it is 100% associated with cervical cancer.
Wow.
How prevalent is it, Dr. Melody?
It is absolutely prevalent across the nation, but specifically here. We did a study way back in 2010, and it showed that 54% of our population was exposed. But more importantly, for persons who presented to our facilities with abnormal pap smears. Pap smears is just that test that looks at the cervix to see if something is wrong. 71% of those women had the HPV type 16 and 18, which contributes to 70% of cancers. Therefore, our population that's affected clearly is by this virus.
When you say exposed, what do you mean when you say exposed?
The virus has been or is in their bodies. Now, normally, we all, about 80% of the population or more, as we get older, would become exposed or have contact with the virus. However, the body clears the virus naturally in about 2 years in most persons. However, some persons go on to foster, breed, brew the virus, and it manifests later on, 10, 15 years after, as cervical cancer.
Whoa.
What is the... Okay, so there's a vaccine. When did this vaccine come on the market, and who's supposed to take the vaccine?
It's been around over 10 years, certainly in Jamaica. We started off with Gardasil initially, Gardasil 4, then we now have Gardasil 9. And then we had the launch of Cervarix, which is our bivalent vaccine. So we have our quadrivalent, which has been replaced by the nanovalent vaccine. So it's been here for a long time. And worldwide has been in use and administration all over the globe. So it's nothing new. And the use of the vaccine locally, again, is nothing new.
Okay.
The only thing that has changed is that it is now made available free of cost to the young population. And that's the recommendation globally. And children have been getting the vaccine worldwide. So we're just now getting on board and doing what other countries that are a little more well-off than we have been, that they've been doing for years.
I don't know if it's the right word, but I'll use it anyway. There was some controversy surrounding the vaccine, Dr. Ennis. I don't know if...
Or objections?
Or some people are saying they didn't want to be vaccinated, if that's the word. Is that so? And why would there be concerns?
Well, there are anti-vaccine lobbyists across the world. There are persons who don't believe. We try to ensure that persons get credible information so that they can make informed decisions. Now, vaccines have been around for a long time. We have managed to eradicate some disease conditions. Most persons don't recall, because we have had a generation or two free of measles, free of mumps, free of rubella, free of polio. And by the way, today is World Polio Day.
And vaccines
cause
that.
cause that.
But you know, if we want to dispel some of the myths, if we want to call them myths that people have about vaccines, we hear people say, okay, yes, we eradicated that, but we're seeing so many other issues coming up, you know, when we talk about certain mental health issues and different things that they say is becoming more prevalent in society. What is in a vaccine? What makes up a vaccine? People say, are you injected with the so-called virus to combat it? I mean, we need to know what is the medical situation there.
So there are 4 types of vaccines, actually. You have the live vaccine, the live attenuated strains, which is the modified virus. It's the modified virus. So when you get the live vaccine, you may have milder symptoms of the disease, but you never have the full-blown disease or have it for the length of time with the side effects that you would normally get. So a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, that's a live vaccine. The yellow fever vaccine is also a live vaccine.
LIVE?
Yes.
Live.
Yes.
Live
attenuated.
Attenuated.
Right, because
strain.
it's modified
Okay.
to down-regulate the potency
Okay.
of the vaccine.
Dr. Mitchell, does the vaccine stop you from getting cervical cancer?
It does, 100%.
100%.
Well, not quite. The HPV virus is associated with cervical cancer 100%. In terms of vaccine efficacy, over 90%.
Okay.
So it is still important, having been vaccinated, and that's the recommendation globally, that you should still continue screening, because while the vaccine covers over 90% of the main HPV types that cause cervical cancer, you still need to screen for those minor types now that are less common, you know, ongoing, and with time, you know.
How do you screen, Doc?
Pap smear.
Pap smear.
Meaning you pap smear, and in some countries HPV testing.
Okay.
Right.
So can teenagers have pap smears?
All
They
right,
should.
so
should
with
they?
no,
I just
usually,
because I mean you say.
All right,
Yeah.
so screening is not usually recommended in under 21.
Okay.
So the screening starts usually once you're 21 and over, and continues up to age 65. And usually the pap smear is the main modality of screening in most countries. But where resources are available, then a HPV test is done every 5 years.
Okay.
In
Right,
over 30, in your over 30
Okay,
population.
and I'm not allowing you to leave, Dr. Ennis, without you mentioned one of the
types.
One of the types. Before we close, please inform, because there are a lot of myths out there, and I don't want you to leave
sorry
without
to jump in.
That's fine.
But because we're out of time.
Okay,
already,
another type, which is the recombinant, which is not the virus any at all. It's the protein coat that they use to make the vaccine, not the virus at all. And the HPV vaccine is one such. So this vaccine cannot cause the illness.
Okay.
It cannot cause the illness or any symptoms of the illness at all.
Any side effects at all?
The side effects are usually pain at the injection site, a little bit of redness, some swelling. Some persons might have a fever, as with all vaccines that we recommend that you give acetaminophen pre or post. Some persons might have an allergy that a little DPH can fix. Now, we are building our own statistics here in Jamaica. We have vaccinated over 8,000 girls, and we have had no adverse effect. And this is in the public sector since we started, over 8,000. We've had no adverse effects.
Where did I read that you guys have a town hall meeting? Is it today?
Next week, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
At Webster Memorial United
It's
Church?
at Webster Memorial United Church, which is at 53 Halfway Tree Road. Yes.
And that's at 5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. All are invited. This is our way of engaging the nation. We understand, we hear that persons have concerns. We want to allay fear. We want to spread everything on the table. All persons are invited. Please come out, parents. If you have a child in grade 7 going into grade 7, please. It is in your best interest and the nation's best interest.
Thanks a lot for coming. Good to see you.
Thank you so
Great
much.
to meet you.
Sorry, can we refuse a vaccine?
Yes, you
I'm just asking.
Who is we?
The children or the parents?
Well, they have to get parental consent.
consent, just
and that's the
confirm.
problem we're having, because the
Okay.
parents, due to ignorance, don't want to give the children
So
the
turn up
vaccine.
next Wednesday, 5:30 at Webster Memorial United Church for more information from the Ministry of Health. Very informative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Acting
welcome.
Director of the Family Health Unit at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, and consultant in the Obstetrics and Gynecology Department at the University Hospital, Dr. Charmaine Mitchell.
All right, and still to come in the next half hour, sounds on the Smile stage, a little bit of Boo at the Zoo, Boo, and bagging it with Kaju. But before we get into all of that, Raquel has your news in 5.